Every time I turn on my television or try to check my email over the internet, I notice that there's a lot of national rhetoric surrounding the phrase Black Lives Matter. I want to approach those three words, but I want to talk to parents first, and I want to address the three words Black Lives Matter this way with you, parents. If you are the legal guardian, the parents, the mother, the father of black children, African American children between the ages of, let's say, 12 to 21 years of age, it's your call. But I want to share this information with you with hopes that you will take this information and maybe put it in your own words and share it with your black son or daughter. Or after watching this presentation, go ahead and invite your son and or daughter to watch this presentation with you. I would appreciate that so much. I would be not only flattered, but very grateful that you thought enough of this presentation to share it with them. I want to talk to the next generation, and I want to tell our next generation of black children that you're growing up in a time where there's some fallout over the phrase Black Lives Matter. And I don't know who else would share what I'm about to share with you. So instead of standing on the sideline, I thought I would take responsibility and say this to you myself. The confusion seems to be between the movement itself. Hashtag Black Lives Matter is also a movement. I'm beginning to understand that there is an organization called Black Lives Matter or hashtag Black Lives Matter. There is an actual website, blacklivesmatter.com. I went to the website for the first time the other day after I realized that this was more than just three words. Now, I have to offer this disclaimer. I don't know anything about the organization, Black Lives Matter. I don't know anything about the movement. I really don't. I'm being honest with you about my very limited and or lack of knowledge of the movement and website and organization. I do, however, know a lot about being black, and so my concern is to focus on those three words, Black Lives Matter, and I want to break down how important it is to understand those three words outside of the movement, outside of the organization. Let's separate the two so that we could use the phrase with more productivity, and it can become a little more useful to us, because everyone is not necessarily on board with the organization itself. So let's focus on the three words, if you will. Black Lives Matter. Now, you would think that those words are very simple and harmless, but it seems like when people try to correct you by saying all lives matter, that's what I want to talk about today. That phrase, Black Lives Matter, does not need correction. You see, the adjective black, it is called a descriptive adjective, and we've always had to use the descriptive adjective black to describe anything that black people contributed or any event that specified that black people should support or attend. We've always done that. This is not anything new. So I don't understand why there seems to be such friction between the phrase Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter runs so much deeper than a hashtag, so much deeper than an organization or a movement. Black Lives Matter for hundreds of years has been used to specify our contribution to this society. So we have always said black businesses. We have always said black chamber of commerce, black dance theater, black rodeo. We've always used phrases and terms like black quarterback and black head coach. We just don't say head coach. We don't just say quarterback. We always add the modifier black to describe that there's something else about this particular contribution. Black church. We say black colleges in this way. We say historically black college or university. We've always said that. And there's no issue with the phrase historically black college or university. So when you say Black Lives Matter, understand and embrace the importance of the qualifier black, because it helps to balance the American wheel of diversification, if you will. Why do you think we say BET? What does that stand for? So don't feel ashamed or afraid to say Black Lives Matter. I want you to hold your head up high when you say it, and be proud to say it. It's okay. Because if I were to tell you or ask you to imagine the image of what looks like a descendant of Japan, the Japanese or the Chinese or someone of Asian descent, if I ask you to imagine the image of an Eskimo or a so-called a Native American Indian, if I ask you to just imagine, if you will, what looks like someone from Spain or Costa Rica or somewhere along that region, if I ask you to imagine a face from Nigeria or the Congo or somewhere, Panama, or even for that matter, Germany or Canada, Russia, and then if I ask you to imagine a good old-fashioned Old West cowboy that looks like John Wayne himself, and then if I ask you, now think about it, which image represents the American? There's only one answer: all of the above. So don't allow the rhetoric of what I call an attempt to correct you when you use the phrase Black Lives Matter, because it does not require correcting. It is a correct statement. It shouldn't offend. It shouldn't require any real thorough explanation. It pretty much stands alone. And it shouldn't be entangled in any other, whether it's a movement or an organization. Just the words themselves apply. They're very appropriately placed. Very powerful 3 words. I say this because it was never considered inappropriate to say black mothers and fathers matter. Black teachers, black judges, black doctors matter. We never had a problem saying that black politicians and black preachers and black astronauts, black inventors and black inventions matter. Why do you think we have the black modifier to black history? We use black history so that we can be specific about whose history are we actually talking about. And if we don't add the specifier, the descriptive adjective black, then most of our contributions, most of our inventions, they just go unmentioned and unnoticed. So hold your head up, young black son and daughter. I want you to remember that this is how you prove that black lives actually matter. Don't just say it. Don't just use the rhetoric. There's a way to prove it. See, your image matters. This is beyond your black skin. Your image matters because it's important how others perceive you. That matters. So this means your behavior matters, young black son and daughter. This means that your vote matters. Your Black Lives Matter when you combine it with black communities matter and black programs matter. See, you show that Black Lives Matter when you invest in black programs. And the more you invest, the less you protest. So we have to learn to become producers. We know that we're consumers, but the way to prove that Black Lives Matter is to improve black communities, improve black programs, improve black education. I want you to be competitive, young black son and daughter. I want you to compete hard out there, because the people that you're going to be competing with, they're not next door. They're not in your classroom. They don't live in your neighborhood. They're coming from all over the world, because your competition is coming to the United States of America, because there's opportunities here that don't exist in the place of which they are leaving. But the thing is, they look at opportunity differently than you do. They don't take opportunity for granted. You do. You have allowed opportunity to be morphed or turned into entitlement. And this ideology that you are entitled, or you have a right to this and that this is hurting you. This is hurting your ability to work harder and to practice longer. So I want you to hear me say this. Nobody owes you anything. And no, there's no such thing as a good excuse. So I want you to take out a pen and paper, and I need you to write down a list. I want you to write down the things that you are good at. I want you to write a second list of the things that you are passionate about. How do you know you're passionate about it? It's because you'll do it for free. It's the thing that makes you tick. The next list, I want you to write down the things that you're gifted in. How do you know you're gifted in it? Because it was something you were born with, not something you learned in the classroom. Then I want you to write one more list. I want you to make a list of those things that makes you valuable to others. Make a list of what makes you valuable to others, because this is what really matters, more so than your beautiful black skin. What really matters, more than your blackness, is what makes you valuable to others. We have to develop this. And I want you to turn this list in to your parents, to your legal guardians, to your teachers, to those to whom you matter most. And I want you to get to work, and I want you to work on combining list number 2 and list number 3. Develop a passion for your gift. This will allow you to be very competitive, and there's no such thing as failure. As long as you don't accept failing, then you can continue to fight on. Fight the different fight. Fight the smart fight. Use your mind. Use your powerful brain, young black son and daughter, and it's going to be all right. There's no need to panic. There's no need to get desperate. It's going to be all right. And you know, parents, I appreciate you for allowing me to share this, because I'm only here to help. I want for you guys what I want for myself, right? I want you to be happy. I want you to be healthy. I want you to live a life of longevity and one of fulfillment. And above all these things combined, I wish upon you many, many blessings. I say this as a black overseer of black children and a black family. Your black life absolutely matters. I'm looking forward to your response. Thank you again, parents. My name is Jay Jackson.